And here we are.
And here we are, live from the uttermost parts of the world.
Yes, the Mark Levin broadcasting from a hidden undisclosed bunker.
and we are.
Yes.
Well, Bob, it's good to see you. And
you too.
We're on for another great program of two Pastor Bobs.
Yes.
And a microphone. And we say a microphone because you're the only one that has one.
It really is the almighty Zoom microphone.
Well,
yes.
You look great. And I guess my microphone is on my ear.
Yeah. Pods. And you're looking very lumberjack today. So
I am a lumberjack and I am okay. And that's all we're going to sing.
Well, you could probably squeeze out the other part. I work all night and I sleep all day. But the next wording you're probably going to want to leave out.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
No.
Ringheld, good to see you from Norway. Awesome.
Yeah.
We got some good folks joining us. Tina and Johnathan Skaggs. Good morning to you.
Yeah.
Some good folks joining us. So we've got a great show planned, Bob. We've got, Adam Cook is here with us today.
Yeah, A Hill to Die Upon.
A Hill to Die Upon. Great band, great friends. I think I'm kind of responsible for him meeting his wife.
Really?
And I married them, and we'll talk about that. And just a great guy and a great band still going strong. And I'm excited to catch up with him to see what in the heck they're doing these days.
I'll admit, I'm not very familiar with their band, so I'm looking forward to getting to know him.
Yes.
And understand he plays bass. So
and they're hugely popular. They've really made a name for themselves and great ministry and just great people.
Yeah.
Great people. And then we've got, of course, Johnathan will be joining us via recorded message, talking about some of the exciting things that are going on in the metal shop these days.
Yeah, and with the colder temperatures, we mentioned earlier, it woke up to 21 degrees here in Wisconsin, and it sounds like it sounds like the metal shop has a few things to help with that.
Yes, we've just added some cold weather stuff. Good morning, Eric. Eric is here from Humble, Texas. Now, that's something to live up to, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd rather live in Humble, Texas versus a city just down the road from me called Embarrass, Wisconsin. So,
are you serious?
Yeah. Oh, and next time you're here, next time you come up to visit and just share at the church or whatever, we're going to take a picture together by the sign. There's a city just 5 miles down the road from us called Little Hope. So
you guys have the best names.
That's
cool. So that is cool. Well, awesome. So great people joining us. Sonic Grace. We've got Dave Hart is here. Pastor Dave from Sanctuary San Diego.
We got Jared from Seattle.
Jared,
home of the original Starbucks.
Yes. And Jared's been an old friend of Sanctuary for decades. Good to see you, Jared. Some good folks. And then we also have Rafael with us today.
Oh, okay. Checking in.
Rafael's a good friend in Portugal. I've been there with him and his family many times. He's been here, and he's going to be broadcasting from an old street in downtown Lisbon, Portugal. So that'll be kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
And Sherry just joined us. Good morning. By the way, Sherry's going to be on next week.
That's exciting.
Party. And Sherry and Jamie will be here talking about wedding party and a few other things. We're excited to have them.
No,
that's next week.
Now help me out here, Pastor Rob.
Yeah.
Last time I was down at your house for a barbecue. Okay. Yeah. Was that Sherry's sister we were hanging out with?
That was Libby.
Okay.
Yeah. And Libby's husband, Phil, actually helps us with the homeless ministry. He's here almost every day.
That's pretty cool.
Working, volunteering his time. Yeah.
And of course, Sherry, awesome. I'm just trying to understand this all. Sherry's married to Simon.
She is now married to Simon. Used to be married to Will.
Okay.
When they started Wedding Party. And
I got to meet Simon at Cornerstone, and just all of that. That whole group is just phenomenal people.
He's a Swede, so of course he's cool. The Swedes are cool. Austin, good to see you today from Murfreesboro. He's just down the road a piece, about an hour away from here.
There you go.
Good to see you, Austin, my friend. And we've got some great things coming up today, Bob. We were just talking about Rafael and Portugal, and folks, if you have suggestions of people you'd like to see on the show, let us know. And also, we have this segment called "Where in the World Are You?" And well, we should say, "Where in the world are you?" And there's Simone is here. She's married to Adam.
There we go.
Adam will be with us shortly. But it's a really great segment where we just go around the world and we talk to people and, just say, where are you? And what does it look like around you? And anybody watching us could be on the show. So let us know if you'd like to.
If they want to email us, let us email 2PBs at Sanctuary International. And we would, just anybody from Tickfart, Louisiana to Paraguay, wherever you're living, you can join us here and for the "Where Are You" segment.
It's a fun segment.
Although I've never been to Tickfart, Louisiana, but
yeah, but we'd like to.
Yeah. Well,
is it a real town?
Isn't that the line? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that, though I've never been to heaven, I've been to Tickfart, Louisiana? Is that it?
Well, it could be. Yeah.
The Three Dog Night song. Yeah.
But I've never been to heaven. But I've been to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, yeah. Okay, there you go.
The ladies are insane there, but I really don't remember. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? And I don't know if you want to share it here or not, but I thought it'd be a good time to, as you have a little time here before Tim signs on. So you and I were talking the other day. I was at my office and they were playing, and I didn't think, can I just be really honest here?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't think a lot of current contemporary Christian music can get a whole lot worse. And they were playing contemporary Christian music in the lobby. It was criminal. It was awful.
That is criminal.
And so
that ain't right.
No, it ain't. And so I put on my favorite Pandora channel called the Marshall Tucker Band channel.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and the first song that came up was "Revival" by the Allman Brothers. And
yes,
I love that song. I think churches need to sing that song,
But there's a lot of songs that are crossover songs.
Oh yeah. Yes. But you said you had a run-in with the Allman Brothers.
Well, I don't know a run-in. I was actually off-camera host of a show they were singing on, and years ago, and they were an interesting group.
Yeah. So, well, I remember you said that you just figured they were a little bit of an interesting group. So yeah,
they were a very interesting group. Yeah. and during those days of hosting, I did run into a few interesting characters.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. But, I grew up with all of these people. I mean, the older bands, Allman Brothers, are awesome.
Yeah.
So very cool. So we got Brian from St. Louis. Louis. And he says, I remember reading your articles in Heaven's Metal back in the 90s. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for that. And yeah, the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
I had the last word, we called it, I think, the back page. And so an interesting thing. I asked, Doug is podcasting with us now. Doug, who started Heaven's Metal.
Doug Van Pelt, sure.
Doug Van Pelt, and he's one of our podcasters. But I asked him all of those years ago, why did you ask me, to write in Heaven's Metal? And he said, well, John Stills suggested it to me.
Oh, okay.
And I've known John since he was a DJ in California on on KYMS, a Christian show. But John went on to actually be the president of GMA, Gospel Music Association.
Oh, okay.
And has done a lot of great things and has been a great friend. But you know, it's interesting how all that works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's how I came to write that, and his suggestion, and Doug apparently thought it was a good idea. So,
and of course, it was the iconic picture of you holding the Bible and pointing at the Bible.
Yes, and iconic would be absolutely right. Yes.
You know, it's funny how many people tag you in photos throughout the years that we've been friends on Facebook, which has been quite a few years, but reenacting that picture.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the pointing to the Bible. And I think I've reenacted it a few times.
You have.
And I even did it once. I remember when the iPods came out.
Yep, I remember that.
The one with the little wheel. And actually, I had the iPod in my hand and I was pointing to it. And yeah, so I think I've reenacted several versions of that since then.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Google it. Pastor Bob pointing, or I don't know what.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So we have a good morning here from William Lamb.
Good morning to you, William.
And
so great to have people joining us from all over the world, Bob.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere.
Sherry said, I saw Marshall Tucker live. There you go.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
In the 70s. Great band.
Yeah.
You know, so something happens, Bob, when we, you know, we play music, you know, for the homeless folks every day. And one of the things that we do is play classic music, classic rock, classic Motown, you know, all of that. And the reason we do it is because people relate to it. You know, you hear an old song and you remember what was going on in your life then, good memories come back, all of that.
Yeah.
And we found that when we play classic music, classic rock, classic Motown, whatever, that their hearts just open up, and it's a great way to begin to talk. Interesting, isn't it? And I think all of us do that to old music. It's like a familiar friend, you know, which is awesome.
Yeah, it takes you to a different place. It makes you remember things and where you've been, and just a really cool moment.
Yes. Speaking of cool moments, Bob, you said it's a little chilly there.
Yep. Yeah, currently it is. Well, now we're warmed up to 37, but it was 21. Wow. So
that's amazing. So we've been getting down to the mid 30s, even 32, but still 70 during the day. So yeah.
Well, here's someone from close to your home in Wyoming.
Yes. Chris, good to see you. Yeah, I'm from Montana, which is a neighbor of Wyoming, and good folks from Wyoming. And Charles is here. Good to see you, Charles.
From North Dakota.
Charles and Marilee from North Dakota. Yeah.
Yep. Here's Shannon Jones says, good morning, Bobs. My wife and I are celebrating our 22nd anniversary this week in Cleveland. So
that's awesome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You know, that's a milestone. Bob, how many years have you been married now?
19.
Wow. See, you have a little ways to go to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
But that's awesome.
So
that's awesome. And Kirk is here.
Yep.
My good friend, Kirk.
Now, is he referring to you as Bobby or Bob or me, Bobby? Okay.
He calls me Bobby. See, that's how you know you're good friends, when they can call you Bobby and get away with it, you know.
I still cross paths. I still cross paths with my old pastor from growing up, and he calls me Bobby. So
that's awesome.
Got to have some history.
I was called Bobby Joe.
Okay.
All the time I was growing up. And so it got shortened to Bojo.
Yeah.
And some people still Bobby. And when I moved from Montana to California, I decided to be called Bob. So, yeah, because Bojo always got shortened to Bozo.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Kirk says we're still kids, right? We are. We're just overgrown big kids at this point,
That's
aren't we?
it.
Yes. Well, do we have Adam in the house, Bob?
We have Adam in the house here. And
awesome.
It's going to be a pretty cool thing here. So should we welcome him in?
Let's do. And there he is. Good morning to you, my good friend.
Good morning, Bob. Good morning, Bob.
Morning. Nice to meet you.
Hey,
or good morning, Bob times 2, right?
Yeah, Bob squared.
So this is it's awesome to have you join us, Adam. And Adam and I have been friends for a lot of years, and it's always good to see him. You know, he never changes. Adam, you never seem to get any older. What's that all about?
You just keep working really hard, and then one day it'll all just catch up to you.
Well, see, that's probably that's what happened to this.
Yeah.
Although I still, you know, and I have that cross to bear, still quite handsome, but you know, older. Yeah. See, there you go.
And all of us have different phases of beards going on, you know, and
there you go.
I read a thing on the Gospel Bearded Men Facebook page that says a beard is a chandelier for the face. So I think that's pretty good.
I like that.
Yes.
And you can use that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. Well, he's rocking the beard.
The mustache
he looks good.
Yes.
Dude, you're awesome.
You ever wax that thing and get it curly or anything?
I do.
Nice.
Sometimes, usually before I eat a really messy meal, just to get it out of my face so I don't end up eating my mustache.
You do this.
So I'm from Milwaukee. I live 2 hours from there. And of course, one of the most famous mustaches in all of sports history was pitcher Raleigh Fingers. You know,
absolutely.
He had the curly Q mustache when he pitched.
The big curl.
So, Yep.
The handlebar with the curl. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
That's awesome. So, Adam, I think that's going to be a good look for you. The handlebar with the, you know, wasn't there a character called Snidely Whiplash? Do you remember Snidely Whiplash?
Yes, I remember that.
Muttley.
Yeah.
What show was that on?
That was Hanna-Barbera with his dog Muttley.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, Snidely Whiplash, and he go, and he had that
twirl the stash.
That same thing. Just saying, you can do it. You can do it.
Can I throw a picture up of Adam that might look a little different than how he looks today?
Yes.
So here you go.
Oh, there you go. There is the dude right there.
Yes. The Thunder from Down Under.
I like that. Very quick. So Adam,
that's the most recent.
A Hill to Die Upon. Great band. You guys have been going for how long now?
Well, it's been pretty slow lately. My brother, the drummer, he's in the Comancheros, and they're busy, really taking off. And so as far as playing shows for the past couple of years, we've been pretty slow, but something's stirring. So I can't really say anything right now, but something's definitely stirring. The beast finally waking up.
I like that. But how many years ago, Adam, did you put the band together?
2004, late 2004. Bunch from math. I don't know. Is that 15 years?
Yeah, dude, 15, that's awesome. 16 years.
Like
17 years. 17. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's almost
older running than and I time am. Keeps catching up.
Totally. So the one thing I remember, the classic, look that you guys had was the face paint.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not something you continued, or is it?
Well, the latest picture I sent you was that's the latest band or live show that I've played. So
yes,
like a rock and roll band, we don't really wear makeup, but in Hill to Die Upon, yes, we do still wear the full corpse paint and makeup and everything. So I actually had to get the makeup out the other day. So hopefully we can brush that off and get the old school look going again. So
yes. Well, we have a picture of you with the band with the face makeup on there right now. You guys look pretty awesome. I think if you're going to compare bands with the face paint, and that's Kiss and et cetera, et cetera. Don't you think that A Hill to Die Upon probably wins, Bob?
I think so.
Cool look.
Yep.
Yeah.
I always said it looked like
cool
Kiss through a meat grinder.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So, Adam, you married one of my favorite people, and I assume she's one of your favorite people too.
That's right.
Sorry, I have this ringing through, and I don't know why.
So while there's people, is there something to this that somebody said Cuddly Do Right?
Dudley Do Right.
Whoa. Yes, Dudley Do Right. That's right. That's
Dudley Do Right. Yes. There you go.
So Adam, you married Simone, who was from Sanctuary in Denmark.
You might have been there.
And I actually performed the ceremony. It was a great day. Good memories. Now, if you don't know Adam's location, if you look for the biggest cornfields in Illinois, Iowa, that area around there, you'll find Adam in the very middle of that.
Somewhere in the middle, yeah.
Yeah. So the church, the coolest little church that we did the wedding in, was surrounded by cornfields all around. You couldn't see anything else. And then the reception at your parents' house was kind of the same thing. All the cornfields. You grew up in the middle of cornfields. So not the place you would expect for the kind of band A Hill to Die Upon, the kind of music you're doing from the cornfields in Illinois. How did that progress?
Some more banjos. You'd imagine some more banjos in our music, but I think when you have a Children of the Corn situation, where you just have a bunch of bored kids stuck in the corn, they all just kind of go crazy, and if metal's close by, that's something you latch onto.
Now that would be something to hear a metal version of Dueling Banjos.
There you go, right there.
There we go.
Just saying, Adam.
I like it.
There you go. I think that's a great idea. I think we need to make that so. But anyway, it was a great day, and we just heard from Simon and Sherry, who were at your wedding as well. And remember, they were there, and just some great sanctuary folks. Of course, Andreas was there, and it was it was just really a nice day. So you and Simone together now have 1.5 children.
That's correct. Yes. One on the way.
One on the way. That's exciting, isn't it? And little Helen is her name, right?
Marjorie.
Marjorie. What was I thinking? Marjorie, yes. Close. She is a cutie, and she's what?
She's
6?
She's excited. She's 6 and very excited to be a big sister.
Yeah. She's a sweetheart. You guys did well. And another one on the way. That's exciting. Yep. I'm glad for you.
When is the due date?
What's that?
When is the due date?
April 22nd.
Little ways to go yet.
4/22/22. Easy for someone like me to remember.
Oh, that's awesome. So you mentioned playing with some other with another band, and you mentioned some surprises in the loop. You never lose your desire to play music, do you?
Oh, no.
No, it's always there. No matter what else you're doing, it's kind of brewing. Are you finding that you're getting a little more creative these days, and you're getting ready to push on through again?
Yeah, I would say for a long time there, I had some, life just kind of does its thing, and
it does
surprises you with all sorts of crap, and you just gotta work through it. But I kind of feel like I'm at the point now where it's like, I finally caught my breath, and I'm staring at my guitar now, and it's staring back at me. So that's always a good sign.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, it's exciting, and I'm very excited, Adam, to see what you come up with. You've always been extremely creative, and I've always been a huge fan of A Hill to Die Upon. Adam, you've also helped put the bands together with the Sanctuary tent at Audio Feed. Did you know that, Bob?
I did. I have not seen a Hill to Die Upon live, but I know they were instrumental.
What?
I know.
What?
We've got to get them when you guys go out on the road again. Hit me up. We'll do Central Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
So,
oh yeah. Heck yeah.
I think that needs to be on your bucket list, Bob.
Yeah. We're only 2 hours north of Milwaukee here, so
nice.
And I pastor a church up here, and we're not afraid to have the heavier bands. And one of our crowning moments was a Christmas series I did a few years ago, and it was called A Dark Noel, and it was the big Christmas production, not a youth group thing, but just Christmas. The concert was with Leper and Grave Robber, so it was.
Oh wow!
And I still have my job, so they must have been all right with it.
That's so cool. That would have been fun.
So he's definitely not afraid.
Leper and Grave Robber, they're great friends.
Yeah, awesome. And we had Sean Browning actually on the show with us a few weeks ago, and
cool.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I love that. It's a little bit of a shock rock, So speaking of that, I keep hearing that Marilyn Manson has something going on spiritually. Have you guys seen that?
I've read that.
Yeah,
I have heard that. Yeah.
So amazing.
There's a picture of him, Justin Bieber, and Kanye West at one of Kanye West's prayer meetings. And I'm not saying that's necessarily the most theologically sound, but he's pointed in the right direction.
Yes.
Very
exciting. I mean, there wasn't anybody for a while that was more anti-Christian.
Yeah.
You remember? Than he was.
And it really goes back to, I think just looking at it from the outside, I think one of those key moments where we're at our lowest in life sometimes turn our lives around. And Marilyn Manson's faced that with legal issues this year.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe through all of that, he's softening his heart up.
C.S. Lewis calls God the Hound of Heaven. I love that term because he really is. And it's almost like, okay, you can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah.
God is still the Hound of Heaven. He's still always knocking at our door and saying, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone is there, open the door and I'll come in and sup with him and he with me. And that's a promise, isn't it?
Yeah.
That he is willing and able, even somebody like Marilyn Manson. It's exciting.
I think it's the great theologian Johnny Cash that said you can run on for a long time, but sooner or later, God will cut you down.
That's perfect.
Variation of the theme.
Yes. Yeah.
That's cool. And and he was a theologian.
Yeah.
Of sorts. Absolutely. Yep. Are you a Johnny Cash fan, Adam?
I'm the biggest. Spotify gave me a notification that said I was in the top 2% of Johnny Cash listeners in the world. So
nice.
Are you serious?
That was quite a badge of honor for me. So
dude, that's awesome. Well, that recognition is pretty awesome.
Have you been Have you been to his museum in Nashville?
No, that would be awesome. That's on my list to go to.
It's amazing.
It is time for a visit. Yes, and I will personally take you there.
We've been talking about Nashville's calling, so
I'm in the one trip where Pastor Bob and I and the podcasters got together. I came a day early to go to Memphis to do Stax, Graceland, these different places, Sun Records, Sun Studios. And I think the best stop was in Nashville, outside of Sun Records, but Nashville, the Johnny Cash Museum. You need to do it.
Huge. And it's right off of Broadway. It's just right downtown.
Really?
So it's easy to get to. We've got the Country Western Museum right down the street from there. And I'm not a huge country fan, but there's some Johnny Cash stuff and some old stuff in there that I do like. And then right up the street on the other way, the brand new museum for black music, they call it. It's the
Cool.
black, yeah, for old soul music and everything from R&B to rap today. And that museum was just built, and they built it in Nashville as well.
Huh.
So there's a lot to see right in that small area for us music buffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so Adam, I liked you before, but now that I know this about you and Johnny Cash, I have to say I like you even more. Yes. Huge Johnny Cash fan. So I have to tell you about my Johnny Cash sighting. So I was driving over one of the side streets by the railroad here in Mount Juliet, and as I was coming up, there was a policeman there, and he was stopping everyone, and he said, "As you drive by, make sure that you don't yell anything, that you're quiet, the whole thing." So I thought, okay, I didn't have an idea what he was talking about. And as I got closer, there was a railroad car, and on the side of the car it said, "Cash is back," and Johnny Cash was standing in the door of the railroad car.
Huh.
Yeah. And I've never seen any pictures of it, or I've never seen what they used it for. I have no idea. And I've Googled it and there's nothing there. But, and I thought, oh my goodness, it's Johnny Cash. It's like God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, Johnny Cash, it's just saying. So people have Elvis sightings. I have a Johnny Cash sighting.
There you go. So
that is,
Adam, if I can ask a question here, what are your thoughts about moving forward with Christian music festivals? Do you think it's going to become a thing again? Because a lot of the big ones, got canned last year again. And if you don't mind sharing, what are your thoughts? I mean, I hope to see them pop up again, but it's a great place to see all of these bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I'm just as, I really don't know just as much as anybody else. I think I did notice one thing over 2020. I did a lot of touring with my brother's band, the Comancheros, and they play a lot of bars,
awesome
and different
band.
Places.
Yes, they do.
Awesome. Best show I've ever seen, and they keep getting better every time I see them. But there was something I saw, and it was like there was no big shows. Everything was small, 50 people or less, but there was this hunger in the crowd, and that I saw in people's eyes that was just like I think when you take away the gathering, the festival, whatever it is, it's like a deep human need that we all need to just get together and like do something, whether it's listen to music or watch music or whatever your thing is. But it definitely, I saw that hunger, and it almost seemed like, in a way, it was the new punk rock. In a way, all the big stuff was canceled and canned. And everybody's like, "Oh, better be safe." And I get that, but it was so wild to go and see just normal everyday people who were working hard, who would just go to a show, and just to see the light, their eyes light up, and it's just like, wow, that person who's grinding, who's got all sorts of troubles in life, has the fuel to get through another week, and that was awesome. The coolest thing I think I saw.
That's great insight, and it is. I mean, music is that thing. Absolutely.
And I like Matthew Ray's idea, Sanctuary at Sturgis.
Yes.
We went to Sturgis
so
this
Matt
year.
said he ran into you there.
Yeah. And it was quite to be honest, I was a little, I think right around then was the whole Afghanistan debacle, everything. There was a whole bunch of like bad stuff in the news that I was kind of depressed going. But I got there, and I've never been the only times I've been that recharged is when I would go to Cornerstone or go to Audio Feed. And there's just something about gathering of people. And
that is so awesome.
There was just something special about it. And that was the neatest thing I think I saw all year. There's still the hungers out.
And we're really moving forward and trying to do a tent in Sturgis and bring in a bunch of bands and do this for next year. So I'm hoping that works out. I don't know if you remember, Adam, but my cousin Sonny Barger is actually the president of Hell's Angels, and so I kind of have that tie-in with that, and he's actually invited me to do some kind of a church service or whatever in Sturgis, and I've always turned it down. But I'm kind of thinking, we really should look into it, because there's a whole lot of metalheads that are into motorcycles.
Yeah, and
that are bikers.
When we were at Sturgis, I saw kind of the old school guys out there, passing out Bibles and tracts and doing the outdated ministry. It may work for some, but it, maybe that was more based in like the 70s or 80s, but there's like a new hunger. People have seen, and I mean, just modern times, people see it and see everything and go, wow, okay, I guess we did get rid of God and now we need him back, and there's this intense hunger
absolutely.
like I've ever seen.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's a great idea. Did your brother's band play Sturgis?
Yeah, they played
Awesome.
They played 8 shows in 8 days. They were like not short shows either. They were like an hour and a half long each time, and they killed it. They did a really good job.
And they do the perfect music for most of the people there.
Yeah.
The style and everything. Yeah, great band. I think they are awesome. And of course, it's a little different music than he plays when he plays with in your band. Just a little different.
Well, a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see like them playing. They'll cover, a Johnny Cash song or something, and he'll have double bass. Michael will have double bass in the song, and it's kind of cool to hear country music with a little bit of aggression.
Totally. Country music and a little bit of an oomph added to it. Yeah, very cool stuff.
I think the theological term that Adam used was balls.
Yeah. And that is a theological term.
It is. It's actually Hebrew. Yes.
There you go. See? Well, Adam, we have your information on the screen here. People can go to the website, check some things out, and check out some of the music and get acquainted with The Hill to Die Upon. Of course, you're on Spotify and all the other places that people can listen to music. But I recommend highly.
I can say that though I've never seen them live, I do play them on Rock Church Radio. So
good.
There
you go. All right. You're on the show.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for joining us, Adam. And the next time I see your face, I hope it's here in Nashville. Come on and visit.
Yes, it will be. We're gonna come soon. So
awesome. I like
Johnny
that
Cash
idea.
will be waiting.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. All right, my friend. God bless you.
Take care.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
See you guys
Bye-bye.
later. Thanks.
What a great guy.
Great guy. He really is. Good guy. Bob, when you begin to look at all the people that make up Christian rock, Christian metal, we have some really great folks. We don't run out of them, do we?
No, and I think he was hitting on a very important point there when he was talking about the music festivals and just being back together with people. And you and I've talked about this quite a bit, even in dreaming for things to come. And, a big part of these Christian music festivals isn't, and as weird as it sounds, it really isn't necessarily the music, it's the fellowship.
That's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
One thing that I notice in all of our festivals internationally is, and Sherry says, yeah, we are metal, we are family. And that is true, isn't it? There is that family aspect. We realize that when we do a festival, it needs to be church camp.
Yeah.
And I always say that our festivals are church camp for metalheads, but it needs to be that. We need to have, not just the music, but a time of sharing the word, but a time of fellowship.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing that I think is really interesting is, and I noticed this the last time we did our festival in Switzerland, that when the bands are playing, as it gets to be Saturday night and they've been there for a while, people would rather stand outside and talk with each other than go in and listen to their favorite bands, because there's something that's happening with that, like you feel at church camp when you go home and you miss everybody,
Yeah.
And but it's awesome.
Yeah, and we jokingly say it, but it is those kumbaya moments where we're, this being together, and seeing a great band is phenomenal. It's unforgettable, but at the same time, sitting down to a big old barbecue with food and friends and a campfire, you can't beat it.
Yes. So the day after, we have, well, actually the day that we close that particular festival, and others too, I do a Sunday morning service, and we have a little bit of worship, and then everybody goes home. And right after that, we have a huge barbecue with all the bands.
Oh, neat.
And there's just nothing like that. The camaraderie and that thing we feel of we are metal, but more importantly, we are family. I love that part.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. Where two or more are gathered, he is there rocking out with us. I like that, Sonic Grace. That's cool. That's awesome.
That's t-shirt worthy material right there.
It is. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
So, yeah, Match Ray is certainly excited about the prospect of Sturgis.
Yes, he is. And
I think that'll be a phenomenal opportunity for ministry.
Matt's actually going to be here and celebrating Thanksgiving with me.
Yeah.
He and his family. So they're coming to visit, and we're going to work on this. We're going to get some ideas going, and you never know. If you're interested, folks,
here's a question that shifts gears a little bit. Wondering if you'll need Mylar bags. A question from the Brazilian Amazon.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. Yes, we do. And we just, we had some left over from last year that we're distributing right now. Bob, let me tell you about the homeless real quick, if I can.
Yeah, please do.
Because things do get critical about this time of the year. As the temperature drops, people are on the streets. Now, the thing that we try to make sure everybody has, the essentials, a sleeping bag and a tent. Beyond that, in the winter, we also have propane canisters and then a little burner thing on the top of it so people can use it to cook food, but also to stay warm.
Yeah.
And so we're buying as many as we can right now. And we first of all, we went to Walmart, where we usually find the best deal. They're sold out of them. I can't get them.
Yeah.
And so we've been going around to see where we could find them. They're a lot more expensive than they used to be. But we refill them every day. It's one of the things that we do. We have this big tank, and they bring their propane canisters to us every day, and we refill it and make sure that they can stay warm. Because
that's really
Bob,
great.
in the past, we've had some homeless people die from the cold. And we just need to make sure that, but the Mylar bags, all of these things are extremely important for the homeless. Yes.
Yeah. It's little things like that I think the church could learn from, is that, so they look at homeless ministry and what can we do to do this or that. And it's the little things, paying attention to the propane tanks, and, you can get a big tank filled and use that to fill the small tanks. And there opens a whole nother door for ministry.
And then it's tanks a lot.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
And this, you being a pastor, me being a pastor of a church here in Wisconsin, I'll go out on a limb and say sometimes the church world can get boring, but the ministry is always exciting and fresh and new.
Well, that's what makes it exciting.
Yeah.
Bob, I sign off on my podcast every day with, you are blessed, so go out and be a blessing. But isn't that the bottom line for how we should live our Christian lives? we are blessed, and we need to be a blessing to those people around us. That's the thing that keeps us going, that keeps that spark ignited.
Yes. Absolutely. It's what kept me in ministry when I went through those 2 horrendous storms in my ministry time as a pastor in 2003 and 2004. And the head for the Assemblies of God asked me if I would take this little church in Wapaka, and I told him I was a bitter guy. I told him exactly where I thought the whole church model could go. And and so he just kindly replied. He said, "Well, why don't you pray about that?" And and so I said I would. And what kept me in ministry is not necessarily the churchy model and churchy folks, but it was the ministry. It was the doing ministry, and that always stays. That never changes.
And you've never had a typical church, Bob.
No.
No. And it's cool that your denomination allows you to be the renegade that you are.
Yeah. We say we're the other Assembly of God church in town on the other side of the tracks. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, exciting things coming up. And Bob, the aspect of, and Matt just posted this, of reaching out in our communities to so many different kinds of people, like the bikers, like those people that are on the streets and homeless. We shouldn't be afraid of ministry at all, just because it's a type of person that we're not familiar with, or that maybe we're a little bit afraid of.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, everybody needs Jesus, huh?
Yeah. So
yeah.
Well, we're coming into a segment here for the metal shop.
Yes.
So should we?
So Johnathan wasn't able to be with us live today because, he's such a cool guy and in so much demand. I'm just saying. And he is a cool guy, as you know.
Yep.
But he did leave us a little message.
All right, here we go.
What's up, everyone? This is Johnathan with the Metal Shop for Sanctuary International. I'm coming at you with a few updates here. Standing in front of the Headbangers Brew poster, of course, as always. And we have all the great coffee that you guys enjoy. We have the ground coffee, the K-Cups, we have whole bean, and we're running low on the stock of decaf, but we're going to have a lot more here very soon. Also, I wanted to announce that we have new hoodies in the shop too, so it's becoming it's getting to winter time now. It's getting kind of cold out, so you guys, if you want to stay warm this winter, go ahead and pick up a hoodie. And of course the proceeds go to helping the Sanctuary Homeless Refuge, and we appreciate your guys' support. We'll see you guys.
There we go.
These hoodies, Bob, are just, here's one of them, and if you can see the design there, if I'm holding it up correctly. I can't see, but we've got several designs, and we've actually, during the night, snuck into the metal shop and added a whole bunch of hoodies. And so a lot of our t-shirts are now hoodies as well.
That's exciting. When I was there in May, I picked up one of your zipper hoodies, the zip up one. It's one of my favorite hoodies now. I mean, I maybe it's a northern Wisconsin thing. I wear a lot of Carhartt because it's heavy and it's warm, but one of my favorite hoodies is the zip up one. So
mine too. I love those the best. And I think most of them, you have the option of either having the zip up or the pullover.
Yeah.
But awesome. And we're going to add a few more as we go.
Does that t-shirt that you just held up have any design on the front side, or is that the front that you showed
us?
It
does actually. Yes. It's got the little pocket design. Let me find it here. Yeah. As you can see, it's having trouble with my figuring out how my camera is working, but yeah, there it is. So it's a little pocket design there, and then of course the great big
one on the back.
And this one is the they're both We Are Metal, We Are Family, and then we also have the one with the skulls that we have for sale, and this has Sanctuary on it. So yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, Jeff actually used the discount code that we put up a couple of weeks ago to get his.
Yes.
So, but
that's awesome.
And in the weeks to come, we'll have another discount code. We'll put something
we
up.
will.
And,
you bet when Jonathan's able to be live with us, he can give us a discount code, and we can, for a short time do that.
Yeah.
Bob, one of our problems is supply chain. It's really affecting everybody, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, from groceries to anything, and it's affecting us. All of our cost of product has really gone up, and we had to raise our coffee prices, and I'm hoping we don't have to raise them again, because coffee, as you know, everywhere people are buying is going up and up and up.
Yeah.
But our cost of materials are too. So just a little heads up. We're probably a few days away from having to raise the prices on everything. So this would be a really good time to purchase from the metal shop.
Yeah.
And the metal shop is simply metalwearefamily.com, and you can enter it there. And again, Bob, to reiterate for people that might not know, everything in the metal shop, including the mugs and the t-shirts and the coffee, it all goes to support the homeless ministry. 100%. So
yeah, it's it's something that's just to be expected. We used print on demand for Sanctuary, and
yes,
with your roasters, you've hand selected them, and unfortunately, given the times we live in, as I was sharing beforehand, it's almost kind of eerie how things are going in stores right now, and places closing and stuff. So yeah, unfortunately, that does trickle over into the Sanctuary store. So but
it really does.
I mean, let's be honest though. Can you put a price on that kind of coffee? I mean,
well, and you can't.
No,
you can't.
I mean,
because of course, Jesus wants us to do the brew.
Yes.
It's just a biblical thing.
It is. Yeah.
Do the brew.
I mean, he dedicated a whole book to it in the Bible called Hebrews. So
yeah, well, there you go.
I mean,
and he does.
Yeah.
I love that.
No, here, the thing about your coffee is that I was not a coffee drinker until when I visited you in May, and the little cabin got just a little bit chilly in there, and I came into your house there, and you offered me a cup of coffee, and now I'm a regular stocker of Headbanger Brew.
Awesome.
I gotta have my cup or two every morning, and the little non-for-profit that I got hired at recently, I swapped out their K-cups with some of my Headbanger Brew K-cups, and all of a sudden that's the talk of the office. Like, wait, what kind of coffee is this? So it's not, I'm not a coffee snob, nor do I pretend to play one on TV, but there is something different tasting about that coffee.
I love those stories, and I am a huge fan as well. So I was Starbucking this morning.
There you go.
I was at Starbucks, yeah. And I got there, I don't know, 5:30, 6 o'clock, whatever it was, and worked for a while there. I like the early mornings. And I take my travel mug, my Headbangers Brew travel mug, and I have them fill it with their coffee. So I sit there and I pretend like I'm drinking good coffee.
Yeah.
But and then coming back home and drinking Headbangers Brew again, world of difference.
Yep.
Just saying.
So, well, here's a question that I will get into probably more so with Leebo, but Patrick Moore was wondering, how is your homeless ministry?
Thank you for asking. And Patrick, it's really going well. Bob, can I just tell you that one of the biggest blessings of my life and Leebo and everyone that works with the homeless is the sense of community and family that we have with them.
Mm-hmm.
Showing up and hugging everybody and listening to what they've gone through during the week or from yesterday or whatever. And as you know, we're serving in 2 locations every day. So it's just awesome to listen to their stories, their concerns, the things that they've gone through. And the one thing that continues to amaze me is their perspective on life. You've seen that.
Yeah.
There are some people that are just thankful. So there's this little lady. She's probably about my age, Bob. She's a senior citizen. She's been in the streets way too long. Really sweet lady. Some of the ladies that we have are actually prostitutes. She's not. She just doesn't have any family, and she just can't seem to get off the streets. Even when she gets a job, it's short-lived, and it's just hard, So, and she came Sunday, and she was visibly, she had bug bites all over her entire body.
Huh.
And I said, "What's happening, sweetie?" And she says, my tent is infested with bugs. And she goes, "I don't know what to do." And some of them were open wounds and bleeding and everything.
Wow.
And I said, "I'm so sorry." And she says, "Yeah, but I'm still blessed."
Wow. Isn't that something?
Dude, they teach me every day. I don't know that if I was in her situation that I would be saying, "Yeah, but I'm still blessed." I have to remind myself of that. It's automatic. And how many times you've been under the bridge with me, Bob? How many times do you ask people, "How are you?" And they say, "Blessed."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they have nothing.
Nope. Yeah, it's a matter of perspective. And, we see that even when we come down, and the last couple of times I didn't go serve with you because we were busy remodeling the food shed or things like that, or food pickups. But the people that came with us and did go serve for the first time, it changes their view on life.
It totally does. It changes you. And it changes you in ways that you'd never expect.
Yeah.
You never really think about, what that's going to do for you. You go into it and think, okay, I'm going to bless these people. I'm going to provide food for them. I'm going to, it's what I can do for them. And I didn't expect what they were about to do for me.
Yeah.
In changing me. So, yeah, it's been a good thing. Homeless have a difficult road. There's more homeless all the time on the streets, and we try to keep up as well as we can. And I have to tell you a little story real quick, Bob. This morning, I didn't know how we were going to continue. That happens all the time. They're just that we run low on funds, and things get really difficult, and it takes a lot of money to keep this whole thing going. And we, besides serving in 2 locations every day, we also supply the food, as you know, for 7 different homeless ministries. So we're kind of a storehouse, and food comes in and out every single day. And so it's been, it's something to keep up with that. So I was a little worried about that this morning, and just saying, "Lord, really need a miracle here." And before I came on live with you today, somebody sent me a fairly sizable donation that will get us through at least a week.
That's fantastic.
So it is. And it's just, where God guides, he provides. And that's the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yep. Patrick.
It's an exciting thing about being in a ministry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, Patrick said, "I'm currently somewhat shut in. How can I serve the homeless from home?"
Yeah, that's a difficult thing, Patrick. And of course, financially is one of the big ones. But there are all kinds of things that you can do online to people that are shut in. A whole lot of our homeless folks use computers in the local libraries and get online and are looking for people to chat with, honestly. Yeah. So you might look up some homeless ministries online where there are live homeless people and encourage them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yes,
I know the little non-for-profit that we do, and even the church that I pastor, for people that are shut-ins, this is the time of year that a lot of programs are doing pushes for financial giving and stuff. And the one that I just was recently brought on, we actually use inmates that just got out, and they stop in to help, and they get food. But
awesome.
they're always willing to, or we would take them to someone's house just to stuff envelopes and stamp them. And, there's
awesome.
Sometimes you just got to call the local agent, the local places, and just say, hey, how can I help you?
And there are people willing to help.
Yeah.
And Bob, you bring up something else I want to comment on real quick, and then we'll go to Rafael.
Okay, I don't have him in the green room yet, but
you don't? Okay.
Nope.
Well, that's strange. I'm gonna write to him real quick here and see where he's at. Let's see.
And so I want to make mention that Brian Perry, you posted a question here about Cornerstone and audio feed. We will address that in our Q&A section towards the end of this program. So be sure to stick around. We'll pop this question back up and address it for you.
Absolutely. Yes, that's a big deal. So what was I just talking about? I just lost my train of thought.
I brought up a point, and I talked about inmates stuffing envelopes, stuff like that, and something there piqued your interest that you wanted to talk about.
I can't remember.
Okay.
See, that's the old age creeping up. I turned 69 a few days ago, and oh my gosh. So
yeah, because one of the questions asked was the person's somewhat of a shut-in. How can they serve the homeless? And I talked about how churches and stuff welcome calls from people that are shut-ins, and we can bring, mailers to them to prep for the mail and all of that stuff.
And I remember what I was going to say. And by the way, Rafael said he's in the link. So maybe we're having the same problem we had last time. You want to send him a new link?
Yep. Let him know I'm sending him a new link.
So, I wrote an article several years ago, and I try to repost it every year, and it's called "Don't Feed the Homeless This Christmas." And the whole idea behind that is, Christmas is about the only time during the year that Christians remember that there are homeless people, and they get inundated with stuff. So all these churches are making gift bags and taking down food and all this stuff. And if you look at the dumpsters are full of gift bags. They can't use all that stuff.
Yeah.
They're homeless. They don't, you give them 50 gift bags, and what are they going to do? But wouldn't it be nice if people did that during the year? If they remembered, other than Christmas, if they remembered that homeless people are homeless all year round. So I said that to somebody a couple of years ago as they were preparing their bags for the homeless. And she said, well, it's just something that our church does, and it's really important for us, and we're just going to keep doing it. And, it wasn't about the homeless. It was about them.
It was about them and their own egos, and never mind, half the stuff is going to end up in the dumpster.
Absolutely.
No matter how nice it is. And here's the thing that gets me, and I think you would resonate with me on this, and people that are listening, please listen to this. There are a lot of garbage. This is going to sound very bold. There are a lot of garbage ministries that abuse the giving factor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
From things you see on TV and all over the place. And so little churches that are getting it, ministries like this homeless ministry that truly say the best thing you can give is finances, we mean it, and it won't be abused.
No.
And really all that tchotchke stuff that you put in bags and give to homeless people, just send that over in a PayPal link to the homeless refuge here, and that would be used far more better than tchotchke stuff, because again, we're conditioned that a church asks for money, that means, okay, how much of a salary are you getting? And I know, Pastor Bob, you don't draw salary, and I myself, for best part of 12 years, turned down a raise because I wanted to go back into ministry at the church. And when we say, if you can give, trust and believe that it's going to go right into that ministry.
Right into that. Absolutely. And I think that's important. There are ministries out there where 90% of it goes to administration.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to check that out. Get something going where things are a little easier. Absolutely. Did you see Rafael yet?
We got Rafael in the house. Should we do this?
Awesome.
Here we go.
There he is.
Hi.
Dude.
Hey, Rafael.
Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So, I have known Rafael since he was a little boy. Yeah. You can see he's not so little anymore.
Only Bob to get a Dane and a Portuguese to go to the beach in the middle of the winter.
See, it's true. Yes.
No, I'm gonna tell you. I told my kids now. Granted, they're in elementary school. I told my kids that I'm going to be chatting with Rafael today, and they thought it was a Ninja Turtle. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I usually use that to help pronunciating the name, in the States. No, just like the turtle.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, let's get an idea of where Rafael is. And, he has a balcony, but the sun's a little too bright. But this is kind of what things look like around him. And just beautiful, isn't it? The old streets. He's in Lisbon, Portugal. And also, you are right by this castle right here. We have one more picture of the castle. See up there on the hill. Rafael, tell us about that castle in particular.
Well, that's the castle of St. George. It's the main castle of Lisbon when it was taken by the first king of Portugal. It's a 30-minute walk from my home. If I walk in a straight line from my street to the castle, it will be just 30 minutes walking. And it stands on the hill, and it's very beautiful. And it stands as it was for a long time the place of the king.
That is awesome. So I don't think people know, Rafael, what a beautiful country Portugal is. And, you're from the other part of Portugal where you grew up, right by the ocean. And if you look, you can see what countries from there.
Well, in Algarve, you are, if you cross the sea, you are in Morocco.
Yes.
And if you just take 1 hour drive, you are in Spain.
And you can see Spain from standing in certain parts of the beach there, can't you?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. And we have.
We do. It's,
yes.
Even if you go to the mountain, also there, you can see also most of Algarve and part of the border with Spain.
That is awesome.
Very beautiful.
And beautiful ocean, beautiful land. So many trees, so many beautiful things, and a lot of oranges.
Indeed. You are always telling that story with the oranges and my father.
Well, and I should tell it. I totally forgot about that. So years ago, the first time that I came to Portugal, I stayed with your family. And your father pastors a little church, a little local church. And your mother, Ziza, also works with homeless and people on the streets, and wonderful folks. But the morning when I woke up, the first morning, your father handed me a knife, and he took me to the yard, and he said, "There's breakfast." Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He said, "There's breakfast." And you had every kind of fruit tree around. And then right next to the house, that beautiful olive tree. And we had fresh olive oil that you can't find anywhere else. It just has the best taste. And but there's breakfast, and just taking fresh fruit off the tree and peeling it and eating it was such a great adventure. Very nice. It's such a beautiful spot. So your family's involved with some great ministry there, and I have spoken in your father's church, and we've been involved with a little more of a metal ministry, in locally too. But I remember being there one morning when you were preparing food and bags for people, and especially the gypsies that were coming in and very hungry and preparing food for them. That's a really important ministry, isn't it?
It is. I felt familiar when helping with your ministry, sort of because of that. It's different because we receive the food from the food bank. It's not getting directly from Trader Joe's, for example, but we have to, apart from engaging with people, we also have to pick up the food, and we also have trucks to pick it up. We also have a shop where we sell secondhand clothing to people, really cheap. It's more about families than homeless. We are helping directly more families that are struggling with school books, with clothing, with food. It's a job that I have a huge admiration for my mother for that. The amount of work she puts in it, it's amazing.
She does an amazing job. And the town that you're from was one of the biggest exporters of fish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for a long time it was, yes, before the European Union and a lot of competition from the other European countries it was, but it's still a fisherman's city. Yeah.
Yes. But there's a huge plant there, sardines, especially. And you know, when you think of sardines, you think the little sardines that we have here in the United States in a can. We're talking sardines. They're big fish there. And but that, again, the European Union closed that down, and a big majority of the people in the town actually worked there and were out of a job. So it became a very needy community, didn't it? Which is why your parents had to step up. Yeah.
Yeah. Some factories closed. There are still one big, which is the owner is actually Christian, doing a great job, and it's called manna. You know, the food for all the people were in the desert.
Yes.
Manna. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
It was. It's still mostly a fishing country. You can see from outside. Most of the communities and the houses have. You can see the building. The buildings have rooftops where you can always see the sea. So
yes.
It's a city directed and in close contact with the sea. Apart from that, it's also it's people. I think it's in general in Portugal. People are still looking for something to where are they going to project their beliefs and where they are going to find a stronghold to where they can find peace. And it's a very troubling city, and people in that city are being helped with either with this ministry or with the church.
That's awesome. And you have such a great little church there, thriving, and people excited, and they love worship, they love the word, and just some great folks. And by the way, Rafael has been here with us twice, working with the homeless ministry, and he was actually here when I was writing Metal Devo, and helped with some of the ideas for the book as well. He's a college student right now, doing very well, and very, very proud of Rafael. You know, one other thing in your location that is really interesting that none of us think about are the special trees that you have that are cork trees. You know, we have these bulletin boards and we have cork, and I don't think most people think, where does cork come from? Well, you harvest cork, and it comes from trees right by where you live in Portugal. Very interesting, isn't it?
It is. And there are already a market with cork, making handbags made of cork. A lot of things. It's funny to see what they can do with cork. And
my father's My father's 81 years old, and whenever we go fishing, he won't use any other type of bobber except the cork bobber.
Yeah, see? and there's a good chance that came from Portugal, just saying.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Rafael, it's good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. And please say hello to your father, Rodrigo, and your mother, Zitza. And I miss you and your family. And hopefully I'll get over there again at some point. But thank you for joining us today. Keep in touch.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you for having me. Yes.
All
Keep in
right.
touch.
Bye-bye. He's a great guy, isn't he?
Yeah, very good. What a beautiful area to live in.
Oh my gosh. And I wish he could have if the sun wasn't so bright. It's just setting, and he's on a very quaint old street in Lisbon in Portugal, because he attends the university there. But all the old shops, and when we say old in the United States, we think 200 or 300 years, and there, when something's old, it's from 1,000 years ago.
Yeah,
seriously.
Right.
So it's very old street, very narrow, and just an amazing place. Yes. Well, we had some questions there, Bob.
Yeah, and
this would be a good time to talk about.
Everyone else gets their own segment, so why can't we? There we go. Now we're official.
And I'm glad we didn't call it "You've got questions, we've got answers," because that remains to be seen.
Yes. Yeah. So one of the questions we got here was from Brian Perry. Is there a difference about Cornerstone and audio feed? I've never been to either one. Is the reason I'm asking. I know this is kind of off the subject, but you're on subject now, so.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and take that, Bob. You've been to both.
So Cornerstone Festival, started by Jesus People USA, aka Japuza, out of Chicago, was started back in early 90s, maybe 80s, was it?
Yeah, it was in the 80s, yes.
In Grays Lake, Illinois. And they ran that for many years up till about 2011. And after that, they just they were finding it very hard to sustain it, given the attendance drop and different models of ministry and things like that. And so along came the folks of Audio Feed, who asked for Japuza's blessing to start something new that kind of mimicked, kind of was reminiscent, and reached out to the Cornerstone folks. And so different organizations running Audio Feed, maybe different stances on things. And so now you have Audio Feed Festival that runs in place of Cornerstone, doing their own thing, but kind of a tip of the hat to the Cornerstone folks as well.
Mm-hmm. And the tie-in with Sanctuary is really about the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Gary that's on the screen right now used to run the Sanctuary tent.
Okay.
In Cornerstone. And he says from 1984 to 1990, Cornerstone was held at the Lake County Fairgrounds near Grace Lake. So that's quite a long time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was never profitable, ever.
Yeah. I mean,
they always lost money. Yeah.
Back in its heyday, they were drawing crowds of 20-some thousand people, and
Yes.
and like a lot of things in ministry, sometimes it runs its course. And I think towards the end, they were running maybe 5,000 or 6,000, which to you and I sound like a lot of people. But when you're basing a festival off of a budget of 20-some thousand, then you can imagine that is an exponential loss.
Yeah. And they even lost money when it was at its peak.
Yeah.
So the people at Japuza would work all year long to pay off the debt.
Here's something that a lot of people don't understand about festivals, and I got to see this side of it from a big one that happens every year here in Wisconsin, more geared towards the contemporary Christian music. But I won't throw names out there, but trust me when I say they're big names today in the CCM world. The bands that you see on the headlining stage, they don't come for ministry, necessarily. And a love offering. There, one group that a lot of people listen to on K-Love and stuff, their standard price is $90,000 to be there. They turned one away at $110,000 for one night, one concert performance.
Yeah.
And so when they stack,
it's typical to find people that the big bands that come for 50,000, but that's still 50,000. So that's more than the whole budget sometimes.
Yeah,
for a festival,
and so
you know,
and then you stack your stage every night with a big headliner, and you can understand why music festivals aren't necessarily money makers.
No, they aren't at all. It has to be a labor of love for people. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But the similarity between the two from a sanctuary viewpoint is the same. We had a tent at Cornerstone for many years. Bob, you spoke there way back when. And we have had a tent at Audio Feed when Audio Feed was going. We're still seeing what's going to go on there, but yeah.
It was at Cornerstone when you asked if I would speak in your place, and that's where Kevin Gross dubbed me and introduced me as Pastor Bob 2.0.
That's right. And it stuck, didn't it?
It stuck. Yes.
Yes. You're the new and improved version, see?
Well, I'm new. I don't know about improved.
Yeah. Yes.
So, Brian Perry says, I used to read CCM Mag a long time ago and remember seeing Cornerstone and other fests. Thanks for your answer about Audio Feed. So you're very welcome.
And if Audio Feed, if they have it again this next year, and I'm hoping they do, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We will be there. We will have a tent, and we would love to see whoever would like to join us.
Yeah.
Marcia Wolf is here. Marcia Wolf Smith is here. And her husband is one of my best friends. And of course she is too.
Oh, there you go.
He used to be the road manager for Muhammad Ali.
Really?
Yeah. We should have him on the show. He's got a lot of
is that Oscar's wife?
It is Oscar's wife. Yes.
Well,
it'd be great to have Oscar on the show. Now, he lives in Champaign, Illinois now. They both do.
Yeah. He just tagged you and I in a post on Facebook.
He did. That was pretty cool. I saw that.
It was.
And so I miss that guy. I really miss him being in Nashville.
Yeah.
He and Marcia. Marcia.
First time I met Oscar, we were under the bridge, and he came up and talked to me, and the words he said just sowed so much life into me at a time when I really needed it.
Awesome.
So
yeah, he is probably, Bob, one of the greatest encouragers that I know.
Yeah.
He just has that gift for encouraging people. And yeah,
I'm going to see if I can pronounce this name right. Ricard Gustafson asked.
Oh, Rickard.
Dude. So he says, I got a message from the other day and wanted to send you a text. Just wanted to know if that was really from you.
It is really from me. And Rickard, the reason that I wanted to get in touch with you is because I'd love to have you and some other guys from Pantokrator on the show with us. Great band from Sweden. Wonderful band. And Rickard is a phenomenal drummer and would love to have you do that. So yeah, right back to me and let's set it up. I would love to have you on this show.
I think that's a common occurrence when someone gets a message from you. They're like, no way can this possibly be the Pastor Bob Beeman. That's like getting a message from somebody unreachable.
Wow. Well, I hope that's not true. So I was in Walmart the other day, and this older gentleman who is probably about my age, actually, came up to me and he said, "You're that video guy." And I said, okay. And he said, "I can tell the heart, and on my podcast, I say, this is a heart, and just remember me, the heart, because I am the love doctor."
Yes. And,
yep. And so he said, because the heart. And I said, "Do you watch my podcast?" And he said, "Yes, every day." I never know who's watching. That was really nice. and people that I least expect to watch. That's awesome.
That is cool.
It is.
So
it really is. Bob, I wanted to remind people, and I should have said this when we were talking about the store, but I named this year Revolution 2021, the revolution of love. And we're almost through the year right now, but we have these, and they've always been a reduced price. Basically our cost on them, on this, on a t-shirt, on a poster. And before the year's out, love for you to have one of these. We've been actually working on our motto for next year today, and I'm excited to present that in a month and a half.
There you go.
But yeah, we got some Christmas stuff coming up too.
Good.
And we will be presenting that probably later on this week. So
that's outstanding. Yes. Well, as yeah, it's good to have a motto going into a new year. It's just it's a goal,
It is.
And so
it is.
As we come to the end of the show, though, I want to remind people that they can email us if they want to be on the show in that Where Are You section. They should email us to pbs@sanctuaryinternational.com, and we'll do our best to get you on the show. But if you have questions for this segment that we're in right now, of course, you can post the comments, but also email us ahead of time. In fact, if it's a deep theological question, email us ahead of time so we can give it some thought.
Yes, because we don't always know the answer, do we, Bob?
Nope. And I found that's one of the best things a pastor can say sometimes is, I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no clue. Right. I'm still a student too. Yeah.
When people come up and say, what's going on in the world today? I don't know. I'm just here's what somebody told me what their life motto is. Life is tough. Wear a helmet,
I love that. I love that. That should be our motto, huh?
Yeah, right. So
wear a helmet and a Shodoma pads.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So
that's awesome. Well, Bob, it's always fun, isn't it?
It is. I enjoy this.
It is, and
I love meeting people like Rafael, and
Well, we got some surprises next time.
Next week's a good show.
Randy back talking about the homeless ministry, and I think he's going to be broadcasting from under the bridge.
Wow.
Next time.
Good.
And so you'll be able to see things. You'll be able to talk to maybe he'll interview some of the homeless folks, whatever. We have some of the folks from Wedding Party. And Bob, as you know, we lost the singer, Will.
Yes.
A few weeks ago, and we're going to talk about Will and his passing, and Jamie, who was in the band, actually, who's one of our podcasters, actually preached his funeral. And we'll talk about that and share some things there, and some other surprise guests. You never know who we're going to have on the show.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And here's a deep theological question posted on the page here. Let me just answer this question for him really quick.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got this for Christmas. I got this for Christmas last year, and Matt was asking if this is the guy. So here we go.
Awesome.
Yep. And then
welcome to Al Pair 4, gentlemen. I am to transport you to the residence.
There you go. So yeah, that is Robbie the robot.
And I remember, and see how my impersonation is. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger, Will Robinson.
Yes. So
Lost in Space. That was awesome.
Yep.
Billy Mummy was Will Robinson. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, great actor, and some June Lockhart. There were some really great actors in that show.
Then over this shoulder here is the Iron Giant. So,
dude,
yep,
you are way too cool. Sorry,
I'm telling you. Should we let Robbie have the final word from Lost in Space, and we'll sign off for the day?
Let's do.
All right, here we go.
Welcome to Al.
Well, let's.
For your convenience, I am monitored to respond to the name Robbie.
Have a good day.
That's awesome.